My name is Chloe Young, and I decided to do my research project on adolescent sexuality and intimacy. I chose this topic because I've always found it interesting to see how it's changed and evolved over the decades. And in high school, I was definitely the oddball in this regards because I consciously just chose to not have sex in high school and to wait until I got married. And I've always found it interesting to talk with my friends and of different beliefs and values, and it's just always been a topic that I've been very interested in. The main question that I focused on was, has sex become too casual among adolescents? And I think this was my overall question because when I grew up, when I went to high school in Denver, it was definitely the norm and the trend to have sex very casually, and all of my friends before we graduated had sex, and I don't judge. I know that everyone has different beliefs and values, and that's why we can stay such good friends. But I just wanted to discover, research, and find out if that was just the norm where I lived or if that's the norm across the United States. My goals for this project were to find statistics and various experiments that answer these questions. How many teenagers are sexually active? How is society contributing to this number? In what ways are adolescents exposed to sexual content? And how can society help resolve these possible issues? Here are just a few things that I found in my research. In the United States, 46% of all high school age students and 62% of high school seniors have had sexual intercourse. Almost 9 million teens have already had sex. 6% of all U.S. high school students have had sexual intercourse before age 13. Almost 14% of all U.S. high school students have had sexual intercourse with 4 or more partners over their lifetime. Studies have shown that today's society is dating at a younger age and is marrying at a later age. That's just one of the trends that they have found. It has also become the custom to have multiple sexual partners, to have one-night stands, and to have non-committal sexual intercourse partners. How are adolescents exposed to these things? Obviously the media. One website says, hypersexualized culture of internet sites, mass media entertainers, and 24/7 programming sends a message of glorification of irresponsible sexuality. Dr. Siegel says, the media, in particular, and everything around us talks about sex. It's hard to avoid it. Here are some ways that I found that we can help. Sharing factual information with and giving good moral guidance to teenagers is a vital and important part of helping our teenagers understand themselves. It can help adolescents avoid devastating and possibly life-threatening errors in judgment. And that was from an online site called Talk the Talk Before They Walk the Walk. Also from there, I know it's a lot of work, but parents need to monitor their children, see and be there, available to them to provide some context. That was Dr. Wiebelsman. Find out what's in the movies, what's in the programs, what's on the internet sites before you let your child see or hear and experience with him or her together so you can discuss it and use it to build trust between the two of you. That site also talked about having going through these steps to help adolescents understand sexuality and what they would like to choose to do for themselves. It says start by discussing it with them, being open about it, and keeping those channels open so that they feel comfortable coming to you, asking questions. That's really important. And countering the pressure, so all the pressure that they get from their peers, from the media. If you're able to communicate with your kids, that will help set them up for success. Based on the research and statistics I found, it is quite obvious that sex has become much too casual among adolescents, and actually most of my friends, the majority of them, all of them who had sex in high school, the majority of them have talked to me about it, and have actually, the majority of them regret making that decision in high school because they have had to suffer various consequences because of that. And it is important for us as a society to teach good morals, and that will help teenagers to hopefully not contract as many sexually transmitted infections and diseases, and it could also prevent teenage pregnancies and other negative consequences that may come from it. Obviously, adolescents have their own free agency, but as long as we as a society do everything that we can to teach our adolescents about sex and the positive and negative consequences that come from it, to help them make their own decision on what they want to do, then we can make a big difference in many adolescents' lives.